some weeks back, 2 weeks back, the president did make a very strong announcement. And the announcement was the complete reform and change of the National Broadcast Service, which happens to be the NTA. And that reform had to see the president, through his aide, the SSA, Bayo Nanuga and other channels, put out a communique stating clearly that the then DG of the NTA has been replaced by another, and then there were some changes equally made in different parts of the National Broadcasting Network, different states, different departments, and so on. And this was indeed it was received with mixed reactions, and I'll say mixed because on one hand, everyone celebrated. Now, one person who was rumored to become the DG of NTA is the man you see there on the screen to your left, which happens to be Mr. Rotimi Pedro. Now, just to clarify things, I have worked closely with Mr. Rotimi Pedro, I think for about 2 years or so, during my stay at the television broadcasts partners. He was, of course, the owner of OSMI. And he did churn out very good content from providing the football to the local TV stations to going as providing content such as Nigeria's Got Talent, Nigerian Idols, and so on. He always reforms, as a transformer. And we saw him do all of that. So when I saw that information online, and I said, okay, this, we do know his pedigree, and he's very solid. I must mention here on TV, he's very solid. I was like, okay, this pretty much looks like a very good appointment, and we're hoping to see him because he's very, I'd say, very thoughtful, very quick on his feet, and very creative. So we're expecting to see changes that would have come. But just yesterday, the presidency rescinded on that decision and said the changes no longer took place. So this is it. President Tinubu recalls DG of NTA, ED News sets aside fresh appointments. President Bola Tinubu has directed the recall of Mr. Salihu Abdullahi Dembos, the Director-General of the Nigerian Television Authority, who briefly vacated the post following some...
Wait, which one is briefly vacated?
Wait.
What is briefly vacated?
Wait, we're coming. We will break it down. Who briefly, please take note of these statements, vacated the post following some management changes in the agency. Dembos was appointed DG of the TV network by President Tinubu in October 2023. He will now return to complete his 3-year tenure. The president similarly directed the recall of Mr. Ayo Adewuyi, the Executive Director of News, to complete his 3-year tenure, which ends in 2027. Adewuyi was appointed by President Tinubu in 2024. The new directive effectively reversed the previously announced appointments of Director-General, Executive Director of News, Executive Director of Marketing, Managing Director of NTA Enterprises, signed by Onanuga. Now, my point is this. This is not the first time we're seeing the presidency make quick statements and then take it back. Wasn't there a clear thought before they decided to do the needful?
Obviously not. There wasn't a clear thought. It wasn't thought through.
Because now...
And something had happened behind the scenes that we're not aware. Interestingly, Premium Times reported that the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, who is he's in charge of overseeing the NTA, that he was not aware of these appointments that were made by the president and found out about it in the media like everyone else.
Oh, wow. And
that when he found out about it, he sought, audience with the president. In the report, the Premium Times had said that it even embarrassed Mr. Dembos because he was on a 3-day summit with some of the leaders in Enugu, so that he then had a meeting with the president, and then after having the inside with the president, then they reviewed everything, and then the president reinstated Mr. Salihu. So the question is, again, it sort of reflects the brash manner and approach in which a number of things are done here. Brash in the sense that before any change is made, what is imperative is that adequate information is being gathered. If someone's tenure isn't over, you can't kick them out. I don't know what it is. But if it's an issue of tenure, you will speak with the minister in charge before you come to a decision. Because the truth is, it's not just 2 people or 3 people that are affected here. It's a chain reaction. There were people who maybe had to quit their jobs to accept this new appointment. They've done send forth party for them in their former organizations. Maybe they've even done hiring to review and employ.
Celebration had already started in this case. People were celebrating. I received a phone call and somebody was telling me, oh, have you heard the former boss? I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. So celebrations had already started. People
have made key critical decisions that are largely dependent on this appointment. So what then happens to, Stella Dean? What then happens to Mr. Femi Pedro? Rotimi Pedro, thank you. What happens to the both of them? They made concrete plans with their lives. They had other things they were doing. But when the presidency gives you an assignment of such magnitude, you accept with grace and you step into the position to revolutionize it as best as you can. Only to then be told, sorry, it was a mistake. Come and be going. I'm not going home. We'll have 2 MDs. We're going to have 2 MDs and 2 CEOs. I go nowhere.
We'll run this boat
together. But then again, I'm hoping that this is also a wake-up call. NTA should be the foremost station that a number of us should look up to. We watched NTA growing up.
Yeah.
There are so many things that we're hoping to see changes there. It needs to be digitalized. It needs to, keep up with the times. There's a lot of changes. There are lots of changes happening, even in social media space. They need to start to see things with fresher eyes, have younger people brought into the system. It has so much potential. And it being our official national television station, we look forward to seeing many things. I mean, the people who started their careers there and were able to thrive and set the groundwork for a number of us who are now in media to follow through. What we don't want is to now catch up and see that there hasn't been as much growth. So we look forward to seeing the growth, the improvement, revolutionizing and digitization of the NTA as best as possible.
Well, for me here, I think it's just a clarion call to the presidency that before making very strong statements or appointments, I think it needs to undergo what is called a very critical overview in terms of ensuring that you have dotted the I's, crossed the T's properly. It didn't show that that was done in this case. It showed that there was a quick appointment. And like we've always said, we don't know if there's any joy in making announcements very quickly.
Yes.
Because remember the Dubai incidents. Remember the Dubai incidents.
Yes, with Ajuri Ngelale.
The former Ajuri Ngelale. The announcement was, oh, fine, Nigerians can now go to the... And everybody was celebrating. Good enough, I think, in our newsroom here at News Central, of course, some of the news editors said, please hold on, guys. Don't be too quick to take this story. Let's ensure that we have it. And in the normal News Central tradition, I think some of us had links to people in Dubai, and they tried to reach out to them and say, come, is there any story like this in your own media space and so on? And it was like they say in French, comme ci, comme ça. It was not too certain. It wasn't too clear until Dubai itself finally came out with their own statement and said, we don't know where you saw that statement to. And then in the line of ensuring that this information could have clearly been highlighted as an error, we also got another information that, oh, yeah, but you can still go, but you have to deposit or pay, rather, you have to pay, is it 600,000 naira or something to get the visa, but it's not a guarantee that you get it.
And now it's even worse.
And everybody was like, why the too much information left, right, and center, and still we don't have a clarity as to what it is? That's just one of it. There are many instances. Remember, there was also during Buhari's time, they had appointed somebody who was even dead. And they said, okay, this person is appointed. This guy is not alive. He's gone. And then you have instances where, oh, we're making social appointment. Oh, we're doing this. We've done this. And so I think one of the issues we had then was that we highlighted it here. There needs to be a streamline of communication, which is what we've partly seen here. We've seen the SSA Bayo Ononuga take charge. But then again, before we had seen a jury drop a statement, Bayo Ononuga would drop a statement, someone else would drop a statement. Now it's simply just one channel. Not fair. Well, fair enough. However, I think in terms of ensuring that before these statements are made, every single thing is looked at carefully is what we didn't see here. But it's quite sad that like you've rightly highlighted, I also thought about that, that somebody is ready, happy, congratulations, phone calls are coming in, oh, I'm so happy for you, you deserve it, and then all of a sudden, wait. But let's hope that maybe, let's see, if the tenure ends, I think it's 2027, if I'm right, according to that tweet, let's see, maybe if the tenure ends, the reappointment will happen. Maybe.
Again, I hope that this also highlights to us the importance of having institutional frameworks that should be followed to the letter. If there is a minister in charge of that agency, then the minister should be consulted before any such announcements are being made, and it should not be made a surprise. And that we learn our lesson from this, so we're not so quick to jump to social media and make announcements and then come back to take them. It's important to take our time, verify, reach a conclusion before coming out to announce, as opposed to come back, announce, we'll quickly take it back, especially because it's not just any random person. It is coming from the presidency.
That's it.
Now,
That's it.
let's move to our final. Okay, we have reactions.
to
All right, let's get reactions to that. And after that, we'll then move to our final wake-up conversations. What a country where government of the day is confused. No wonder why the economy is confusing every day and the citizens keep getting confused on a daily basis. Is it a must that every appointment in federal level comes from the president? That's a valid question. If yes, why do we have ministers?
Fact.
Exactly.
Fact.
Raphael Lucas says that's why we are telling people that Tinubu is a president that has a listening ear, which one be here, for the masses. He will be re-elected if anyone likes it or not. Come 2027, Wike is our next vice president. Come 2031, take it or leave it. Man that has turned Abuja to Dubai. Now what for you, Raphael?
This one has gone from left to right.
Directives and policy somersaults are the hallmark of this administration. A learner on the steering, trying different experiments with security and Nigeria's economy. Wahala Pro Max, Wahalard.
That's for Eagle Eye.
I do not think this reversal of appointments is in good taste. In the first place, why and how did it happen? Exactly. Was Mr. President ill-advised or misled into making fresh appointments? Whatever the cause is, anyone found to have instigated this directive somersault should be punished. No,
nobody will.
Ma'am. And then we have, it's almost election time, baby.
Why did he put baby there?
And the person, you say not Bola Tinubu, what his name? We have to at least show the northerners that we care until we get the second term. Okay. Anyway, these are the reactions. Let's now head to our final story, where in a heartbreaking video that's now circulated on social media, we see patients left on the floor on iron beds without mattresses in Kangiwa Hospital in Kebbi State. A video that points to the very dilapidated state of Nigeria's healthcare has been shown. I can't say more. Let's take a look at this video.
Na asibiti bin haushi abin takeici irin yadda ake cewa ana ware makudan kudade da sunan taimaka ma sha'anin kiwon lafiya. Kalli yanda majiyaci yake kwanci a gadon asibiti, babu zane, babu katifa, babu fulo. Wannan abin haushi na. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Wallahi shugaban.
You know, we've always said it here on Breakfast Central that Nigeria's medical or healthcare system is in a comatose, and it's eventually heading to death. It's going to, it's on a life support currently. Let's using the same medical terms. Nigeria's healthcare system is on a life support.
Look at that.
And as we count down, it may just give up anytime soon. And one thing that scares me the most is the fact that leaders need to understand that things such as food, healthcare, and
shelter,
you get away a bit with education, which is why education system is being played with. But you see food, you see medical or healthcare, it is one of the most critically, or I'll put it as a critical. Oh man, look at. Look at the floor. Just look close by. Look at the walls.
It's really sad.
This is a state that definitely would boast of having a governor who has received allocations from the federal government, and like we hear, it's 100 times now. What we're saying is this. whether we like it or not, we understand that as governors of a state, because we don't want to talk to the president now. Let's talk to the subnationals. I want to believe that the subnationals can change all of these things. We know you have, infrastructures and so on to put in place in the state, but can all governors come together, all subnationals, when they have their Federal Executive Council meeting, can they all sit down and say, listen, guys, all governors of the 36 states, let's have a goal for the next 6 months. Let's fix the entire healthcare system all together at once.
I don't know even how.
Let's come up with something possibly called fix healthcare system.
Joe, let's go back to Abuja
something.
Declaration. In the year 2001, African leaders came together and they pledged to contribute 15% of the budget, of their national budget, to health, and that the reason they were doing this was to revamp the healthcare sector. We barely do 4 to 5% of our budget to healthcare. So let's even go and try to fulfill Abuja Declaration. This video unfortunately reflects the state of Nigeria's healthcare in not just Kebbi State, in many states in Nigeria. And a poor reality is that the rich are able to afford medical trips abroad.
Yeah.
We've seen it from the top, from the president. It's in Nigeria that Nigeria's presidents,
Senate president,
go abroad for every
governors,
slight medical treatment.
senators.
I saw a report by the Business Day that said that in, I think 2020, was it 2023 or 2025, that Nigeria spends $1 billion on medical tourism. 1 billion, not naira, $1 billion on medical tourism. So we're losing so much money abroad because people are going abroad for healthcare, from as little as basic healthcare to the really grand situations. And that's not all. We've lost a number of medical personnel, and we're still losing them.
We just lost one recently, a young lad.
Yeah, we're losing Dr. Femi. I think it's Dr. Femi Rutiwa. I would double check.
Yeah, he just died a few days ago.
Yes.
He said he was overworked and all on the job.
And not just are we losing them, those that unfortunately lose their lives, we're losing them in the numbers abroad, because they're going to where not just, and it's not about money alone. If you recall, there was a time we had a guest, I'm trying to remember his name, he was a medical doctor on the show, and he shared how he had to one day carry a baby that was just born from one building to another because he needed to get the baby to NICU, and they didn't have, I've forgotten how he explained it, but he said it's heartbreaking even for them as doctors to not be able to have all that they need to do their work to save lives. So it's a multifaceted, hydra-headed dragon that we're facing in Nigeria's healthcare, and it is really a shame. Nigerians are speaking about it. Let's see what their reactions are. And our first reaction is from Chris Fola, who says, lived in the north for more than a decade. This one is better. I've seen patients sleeping on cartons. Their governors only build mosques and roundabouts. Guess what? The citizens are content. Every suffering they are passing through is God's will to them. It's terrible.
Kebbi governor is doing the Lord's work, sending enough on pilgrimage, and that's what counts. Sick unto death to Jana, he says, his destiny claimed relatives of deceased. Governor knows this. The clerics tell believers that tight from governor, the people are hungry but happy. I really don't understand your message, Uche Bakari. Hopefully we could learn more from.
I think that person's being sarcastic.
Yeah. I lived in the north for about 6 years, and I can tell you that this is the norm, Olive. The citizens complaining and asking questions, a capital N-O, no. Was it not 2 days ago that a state governor with the highest number of out-of-school children said he wants to be paying clergymen salaries? I agree, and that story is one story we would look to actually highlight as well. A state that has a lot of children out of school said he wants to be paying clergymen salaries, put them on salaries every month. What happened to building schools and letting these children, these kids have life? Well, do you know by design there's supposed to be just one general hospital per LGA? Now imagine this where the whole LGA runs is, God forbid.
Can you imagine?
Pilgrimage to Mecca is better than a good hospital. So everyone is actually coming out to talk about it, where you focus more on the religion than ensuring that you take care of the people. But then again, I want to ask a question, and I just want to pose this to all our viewers. Regardless of any religion that you belong to, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, or whichever, I am certain that every religion tells you to actually show some form of either love, concern, or care for yourself and for your neighbor. That's a fact. And we know that. So the question you would want to ask yourself is, with what you've seen, does it show that someone is taking care of his neighbor, love, or for himself? Because if it doesn't show, then why would an individual say, let's build more worship centers and care less about what the people will eat or feed or even use to take care of themselves?
You know why? Because, first of all, we're a very religious society. And because we're and the reason why a number of us are very religious is not necessarily because we're genuinely drawn to faith. It's because the government has failed and people need to hold on to hope. And what religion does is it gives you hope.
Hope is not a strategy.
Yes.
Like we always
so they hold
here.
on to hope by, by investing themselves and throwing themselves into religion. Is why the kind of prayer points we pray in Nigeria,
and that's why
those are not the things people pray for. They don't pray for those kind of things abroad. When you go abroad, you go to the West, the people who are people of faith there, I trust their faith more because they have everything that they need, or majority of the things that they need. They are not praying, God, please, when I get home, let there be light. Oh, Lord, please, that pothole, let it not tear my tire. Oh, God. Father, Lord, please, our transformer, touch their hearts, come and fix it. The kind of things that we pray about, they are very embarrassing. The people in the West or in developed countries don't have those kind of prayer points. So I trust their religion in some sense because I feel that they have what they need. They're not praying from a place of desperation or a place of need. They're praying from a place of love and a desire to build intimacy with God.
I agree.
Here is desperation to say, God, your insurance, if you are doing insurance, your insurance is blood of Jesus. So you use God, you hold God and use God as insurance. So it's, again, when the government has failed, so it's a vicious cycle. The government has failed the people need something to hold on to, so they hold on to religion. Government sees religion as a tool for manipulation. Government invests in religion. Is why, as a nation,
everybody.
It's why, as a nation that is struggling with finances, some people's priority is to be sending people on pilgrimage, to Jerusalem or to Mecca.
Saying that you'll be paying the clerics
and you're using government funds
salary
to be sending people on pilgrimage. So at the end of the day, we are highly religious people, and that vicious cycle, I don't know how we're going to break it.
Sounds like a ticking time bomb, because whether you like it or not, I'm going to say this here: a generation is going, and another generation is coming.
They are watching.
One thing you should note is that all generations are never the same. There's some generations that become wiser, and with this guy in our hands, I can tell you clearly that the generation that has indeed become woke, there are many. So we might need to, those in power need to really, really think clearly about what they're doing. That's just a complete fact. Meanwhile, as we wrap up the show, let me also mention, in line with what you've said with the last story, do a survey for us. I've done the survey. I'd like you to also do it. As you drive around Lagos, Abuja, wherever you are, count how many industries you find to your left or to your right whenever you're driving, and count how many adverts on billboards that actually talk something different aside from religion. I bet you'll be shocked. You have so many religious billboards across the entire country in Nigeria, and less of billboards that talk about instilling either trust or integrity or building morals, or better still, the ones that offer jobs and industries. Go check and you find out for yourselves. But that's all on breakfast, starting off a wake-up conversation.